Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Roll with the Punches, and more specifically, welcome to War of the Gods Session 6, The Shield Beneath the Swells. So this is, as you can see, Session 6 of our little War of the Gods one-shot series. We're over halfway through, so we're on the downhill of the story end of this one-shot series, after which will be followed by the free-for-all arena battles, which will basically be just a series of everyone getting to watch a bunch of level 20 PCs slug it out in, different and various arena setups to try to actually gain complete control over these artifacts that the characters are discovering throughout the one-shot series for their chosen god, which will end up allowing them to make choices for this campaign world that we are creating. So first off, I would like to thank the Tabletop RPG One-Shot group on Facebook, the link to which you can actually find in the description below. So anybody who's watching this, I thoroughly encourage you to go and check it out. That's how I met all the wonderful gentlemen that you will see playing in this game this evening and all of the sessions of War of the Gods. As a matter of fact, that's where I've met pretty much everyone that I've done any online gaming with, as far as role-playing games are concerned in the last several months. But that being totally besides the point, it's a great place to meet people. You should go check it out. Without further ado, I will let these wonderful gentlemen who make this whole one-shot series possible introduce themselves, their characters, and as much about their gods as they wish to do so. And then after that, we'll get started. So we'll go from left to right on my screen. Jeremy.
Hey guys, Amidius Geek right here. Basically, I'm going to be playing a fire genasi called Kronos with his goddess of the four elements. Basically, trying to balance out the chaos and the, shall we say, righteous, goody people in the world. So that's what I'm planning on doing.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. Next up, we have Augustus.
Hello. I don't really have anything to plug, but my character is Radolin, and he was on the last adventure. But in that time frame, after the first adventure and kind of proving himself a worthy avatar to his god, or goddess, he has been given a fraction of his goddess's power, so he is now a favored soul of his goddess and carries the powers that denotes.
Awesome, thank you, Augustus. Next up, we have Charles.
Tonight we'll be playing Dark Talons again, and he's representing Darzanan, Prince of Chaos, who just enjoys the liberality of how chaos creates. And Dark Talon is torn a little bit from last adventure because of the destruction of the shards in the way, and so he went out and made a new piece of jewelry to make amends for his torn relationship with his god over chaos, where he has a nice Celtic style torque with a big chaotic red looking gem in the center of it, trying to appease and settle the relationship between him and Darzanan. He despises assassins since an assassin from the pits of the darkness took his wife at the altar directly right after the wedding ceremony and the commitment, because a evil priestess of Loth wanted to strike on back. So he has a justice, and his God is out there trying to help him get to that end. And hence he signed on with that deity. And just want to plug the one shot, like Josh said, great place to meet up with different game formats. With that, turn it back.
All right, so after that we have Luke.
Great, it's me. So first off, I have nothing to plug. Second of all, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I have a little bit of a throat infection, which means I'm going to be coughing a lot during this. And third of all, my god is the same as before. It is Guider. Unfortunately, Guider has decided that his last champion really didn't represent him anymore as much as he wanted to. So he had to pick a new champion, and so what he picked is the spirit of his son put into the body of a warforged, thanks to the help from the god Omni. And so that's my character, the son of Guider.
All right, thank you, Luke. Last but certainly not least, we have Spencer.
All right, I am playing Theron, puppet to the god of death, Zeratul, and basically Theron's just here to collect as many relics and see how many souls he can get his god to collect.
Very nice. All right, gentlemen. So we see Amok once again in the Colosseum of Souls. He peers into his looking pool, viewing the world beneath, as those who compete to find the relics, to bring them to the arena, to be competed on by the gods and their avatars. We find our group of chosen sail amidst the seas of the Coranic Ocean. Far from land, they have been journeying for days without end, hoping to find some clue of where the lost city of Desedra once lay. On this ship, we find 5 chosen. And as the waves rock the ship back and forth, you see up ahead a grouping of stones known only as the Dragon's Teeth. Large, spire-like, almost stalagmite-like mountain structures that peek forth from the ocean in what appear to be a random and unending pattern for about a mile. The black spires hang ominously among the waves, and you can see the white caps of those that lap against it.
So shall we prepare quicker with a little bit of help from the wind? He's going to be looking over at a few of our other magic users.
Dark Talon will climb up to the crow's nest and tell the captain, "I'll keep an eye out for that white whale."
The captain seems a bit nervous seeing the dragon's teeth up ahead, but distracted by your comment looks up, "What white whale?"
uh, Radolin will look to the dragon's teeth and look to his group and say, I could scout ahead.
Sounds fine to me.
Alright, so Radolin will take a breath and sprout his wings, and they'll come out of the slots of his half plate, and he'll take to the winds to go inspect the dragon's teeth.
Alright. As you fly ahead of the ship, you almost feel a strange uneasiness, almost as if you've become accustomed to the feel of the waves beneath your feet, and as though you can still feel them even though you know that you're gliding amongst the wind. As you approach the dragon's teeth, you notice that they are uneasy spires. They almost appear to have pieces that have been broken off over time. And they have an unearthly blackness to them. They seem polished, almost, lacking the same type of sea life that would normally grow on rocks that were positioned as such in the sea for so long.
Roland will glide over them for a minute to continue to search through them, and then he'll fly back to the ship and land.
As you circle back around, you feel something at the edge of perception, at the edge of your mind, almost as if something looks back at you from beneath the waves. As you look down, though, you see nothing but the ominous black spires of the dragon's teeth.
Alright, so once I return to the ship, I'll put away my wings and report to them. Something about this sea seems a little bit strange. And those black dragon's teeth, they should be surrounded by sea life, but they are utterly barren. I think that could be where our destination lies.
The captain, who you've become somewhat familiar with since your last voyage, Captain Gallius, who has taken the vessel to the sea, he pulls out the map which was produced for him before this voyage. If the location marked here is correct, then that is the former site of the city. Perhaps it's what's left?
Or to turn a phrase, it could be the tip of the iceberg.
We will have
There must be tunnels or something that would lead further in, just like the dragon's mouth that says the dragon's teeth. It's just the opening to greet us with a smile.
No one has ever come back from navigating the dragon's teeth. At least, no one is said to have come back. I will have to take us to the air if we're to continue any further. However, that will That will make lowering yourselves to the sea more difficult.
We gotta find a better name than Son of Guider. The Son of Guider will look down over the edge of the boat, and he'll be like, "So what we seek is under the water."
If legend holds true, the city of Desedra is said to have sunk beneath the waves.
Within the dragon's teeth or outside the dragon's teeth?
No one has ever discovered its location before. I suppose, if this map is correct, according to the location given to us by your gods, it must be within the dragon's teeth.
Alright, let's get this over with.
Take us to the air, Captain.
Aye, aye. You heard him, mate. Take him up. And with that, the captain and first mate begin the procedure of raising the ship into the air as the sails are brought high, and you once again see the ribbons of light sort of echo across the strange silk-like sails of the ship as it begins to bore itself aloft above the waves. How high are we taking it?
Hmm.
I don't know, you're the captain.
While the ship is going up slowly, the Son of Guider is going to have 1 foot on the edge of the boat, on the boat terminology, the side of the boat.
The railing, for lack of better terms.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I would suggest a good distance above the dragon's teeth. Maybe we can spot some type of entrance. And then possibly lower ourselves down to it.
As the ship begins to crest and level out, you find yourselves beginning to fly over the dragon's teeth. And beneath the wave-swept spires, you notice the shadows of these great stones, and that they plunge deeper than eyesight allows. And at the backs of your minds, you feel as though something looks up at you from beneath the waves.
Whatever is down there, my friends, we will find it. And the Son of Guider jumps off the boat.
Well, I was going to suggest a spell to give us water breathing, but I suppose he doesn't need it. At least I hope. I say, looking over the edge as a Warforged is now plummeting at terminal velocity towards the water.
Alright.
And I shout up to the first mate, you may want to get a repair kit just in case.
He sort of looks at the captain, and captain goes, "Great. Let's hope that we don't need it for the ship as well."
Dark Talon will say, the ship fared all right last time. You didn't have to do too many repairs. Do we still have those harpoon anchors?
We do. I don't know that they'll be able to make anchor there, but we can certainly try. The wind
And,
off of the waves makes the ship unsteady. We'll have to hold it in place while one of you anchors.
Dark Talon to give it a shot to anchor.
All right.
Okay. Well,
So, Son of Guider, as you plunge beneath the waves, light breaks through and illuminates the lower part of these great spires that seem to widen and widen below you until quickly, up through the darkness, you see what appears to be a walkway. As your feet hit hard against what feels like some strange metal, you find yourself on what appears to have once been a bridge between two great spires on either side of you. And you can see the light rippling across the tops of the waves above you as the spires seem to reach up endlessly into the sky. And you hear a voice in the back of your mind. Why have you come here?
To seek the Holy Grail. No, no, not that. There is an artifact of which we are searching for.
And as you say that, you feel almost a tug at your perception, pulling you to your left. And as you look across the bridge, you notice what appears to be a strange shimmering in what looks to be a large archway. And we're going to bounce back to the crew for a second. All right, Dark Talon, give me your shot to anchor the ship.
Awesome.
All right, let's see here. That's pitiful, pitiful, pitiful.
Awesome.
To be honest, let's see here. He rolled the 3 on the dice, and with his range modifier, that all would give him. Let's see here. He has maybe a total. Does he have archery? 3.
a ranger?
8. Yes.
Archery.
That'd be a 10.
A 10. All right, yeah. No, the anchor fires straight, but the angle from which you were firing at causes it to just deflect, and you hear a sound that sounds almost like metal on metal when you do so.
Leave it up to a drow to mess things up.
Drow? Who's a drow?
At any rate, I suppose our Warforged friend shouldn't be down there alone. Would any like to follow him?
If you can give me the spell that you spoke of, the water breathing.
Of course. I suppose I can go ahead and give the rest of the party. So I'll gather them around, and I will cast water breathing.
Awesome.
And I would say thank you as I sprouted my draconic wings and flew on down.
And so that water breathing was on all of us?
Yeah, and it will last 24 hours.
All right, great. Thank you very much. And the anchor, even though it hit the metal, it's just kind of hanging down there.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it's hanging down, waiting to be like recoiled. There's a, like a lever that, or a crank, I should say, that allows you to retract.
About how much? About how much of the anchor chain is out there as far as the give measurement?
You guys are currently about 50 feet above the spires. He was trying to take you to, an obviously safe distance, unless you specifically asked him to go lower.
No, it's just Dark Talon will go ahead and try to climb down the anchor chain to get himself closer so the impact into the water doesn't kill him.
Awesome. All right. So as you climb down the chain, you see one of your compatriots with draconic wings go diving into the water past you.
Okay, Dark Talon will look twice. Was that the great white whale?
Theron's going to look over the edge and see if Dark Talon dies from the fall.
Alright, so swinging on the end of this chain is slightly scarier of a prospect than you initially realized as you feel your stomach turn with every swing that seems to, at least in your mind's eye, bring you closer and closer to one of the dragon's teeth spires. And at the last moment, you make your leap and plunge through the water, seeing your draconic ally swimming down the length of the spire below you.
As we're swinging, Dark Talon swinging on that chain, as much as he promised not to heave between the water and the air and the swinging like that, he'll do his traditional mode from last game, and he'll hang over and he'll fetch chum to whatever sea life that'd be there and give a bodily heave of what was left from dinner.
Elves do the nastiest things. So
This said the man who rode on a dragon. I say as I run off the side and I snap my finger, casting dancing light around myself as I fly down with my wings towards the water.
Theron's going to grab onto the chain of the anchor and just start sliding down, and then, without even pausing, he just plunges right into the water, trying to avoid the trunks of Dark Talon.
Dark Talon gets down about 30 feet, and then he loses, probably because of chunking his dinner and whatnot, loses his grip on his strength roll for climbing on down, and does a very unglorious cannonball into the water.
Alright, so where do you want us to roll, Josh, to not die on the fall down?
It's just gonna let you make the dive if you really want to roll something to not die.
Oh, if it helps, if we're doing acrobatics, I got a 28.
There you go. Awesome. So you dive into the water with style. So deftly that you go plunging, like soaring past your other allies who dove in and are swimming down the length of this spire. And as you all continue down through the water, you see the son of Guider standing on what appears to have once been a large bridge that stood between two of these strange black spires that jut up from beneath the waves. upon which you can see debris from the wreckage of ships of the past. You see skeletons.
How's the current down here?
The current below the waves is surprisingly calm. Surprisingly calm, especially considering the choppiness of those above. You definitely feel its ebb and flow, but almost as if something is steadying it. And Luke, as you see your four compatriots swimming down through the water above you, what do you do?
The son of Guider will look up at them and kind of, if he could chuckle, he would, but at the sight of them coming down in the water, and he'll cast the cantrip light to show off a beacon for them to follow.
All right. Down further beneath the waves, you all go, and as you reach the bridge, you hear a voice in the back of your minds. Have you come for the same?
Indeed.
Dark Talon will say in the back of his mind to this throbbing voice that's in there, "Is that you, Darzanan? I've come on your bidding. Why do you poke me so?"
And when normally you would at least feel the presence or the emotional response of your chosen master, you hear nothing. You feel nothing. Theron, you almost feel an ache coming from within you, a coldness unlike one that you have felt in some time, as you notice that your normal traveling companion no longer rests on your shoulder. And the only presence that any of you feel is that of eyes that surround you on all sides. And you're muted, Spence. Or at least we can't hear you. Oh no. Google decided to hate Spencer again.
Kronos would say, "Yes, indeed, I have come for the artifact."
Better?
Never
Yes.
mind.
Sorry, Google likes to mess with me. But, so being disconnected from his god, you'll see Theron actually start to lose consciousness and start to become a little more lifeless.
Dark Talon is say, "Darzanan always picks up souls. He loves them. All you got to do is just sign a little piece of parchment."
And after your responses, you're all beginning to feel that same strange draw and see the shimmering archway in the tower to your left.
The son of Guider will look to his left, look to his right, look at his companions, even the one slightly going unconscious underwater. And he'll, not saying anything, but he'll hold up 2 fingers in each hand, or whatever warboards have for hands, and he'll point to himself and to the drow, and he'll point to the left, and then he'll point the other 2 and point to the right, and then the one he left out because there's really my own party. He'll be like, he'll shrug and point both directions.
Well,
Dark,
I suppose to the left we go.
Dark Talon will go ahead and try to assist the half-alive party member that's in remorse of losing his god's contact, and assist him to the left.
I'll not graciously, but I will definitely firmly grab on to Dark Talon and follow as will.
Alright, so everyone's going to the left? Or is anyone going right?
Shimmering Tower is to the right, isn't it? The Shimmering Archway.
No, the Shimmering Archway is to the left. You do see a Shimmering Archway to your right as well, but you don't feel the same, like, pull. It's not strong enough to literally pull you. You can definitely go to your right if you so choose.
Dark Talon will follow the direction that the Golem party member has pointed.
All right. And as you all begin to make your way towards the tower, you feel the pull increasing, almost as if you were feeling what it felt like to be a piece of magnetized metal being drawn to its polar opposite. And as you pass through the archway, you find yourself surrounded not by water, but by air, inside of a chamber whose roof appears to be that of the stars themselves, almost as if you were looking into the night sky on the clearest night possible.
Dark Talon in his mind will, once he gets himself settled on some firm terra firma, will say in his mind, this chaotic work around here has to be the creation of the master, Darzanan. The wilds outside, but the calm beauty inside.
And Theron, you feel a feeling that you haven't felt in a very, very long time, as you feel a sudden thud in your chest, and again, and again.
Oh God.
And suddenly it begins to sync itself in almost a rhythm, and it gets a bit softer, and you feel warm in a way that you thought was only a memory and the normal pallid gray of your flesh seems to have given way to a rosy pink.
So you'll see Theron just start freaking out as he's looking at his skin and feeling his chest.
Son of Guider, your footfalls seem extremely light as you step through this strange archway and begin to look about, and you feel a sense of almost wonder looking down at the black, almost mirror-like floors that reflect the nebula-like ceiling, and you walk over and look over the rail to see what appears to be almost an endless spire ringed with walkways where you see people walking, having conversations, people with very fair skin, all with white hair. There is a comforting smell to this place. Damp, but also inviting. And as your hands touch the railings, you notice that they are small. Smaller than you remember them ever actually being. And you find yourself in the body that you would have had were you still a child.
Does Dark Talon see these individuals that you just described?
Yes.
And he'll change his visage to look asimilar to one of them.
All right. And you all hear a voice in the back of your minds. Welcome.
I don't like it here. This place is no, we need our guides.
I twit to the voice in the back of my head. I don't recall inviting you in. Would you like some tea? Maybe some biscuits?
It is you who are uninvited, but your trespass can be forgiven.
Oh, now you speak. Shall we have a conversation?
That depends on the topic.
Never mind, I'm being a twip. Where are we exactly?
You are in Desedra, as it once was, as it was meant to be. A paradise for those who live within.
So then I take it that the people survived, then.
In a manner.
Good. Could you point us to the artifact we seek?
The thing you seek is all around you. It permeates you. It is why you are what you were meant to be.
Ah. Oh. I look to my party members and it sort of clicks in my head. So I say to my party members, okay. The reason this place still stands is because of the Aegis.
This place is wrong. People should be dead. I should be dead.
It sets you as how you were meant to be, as the spirit put it.
I think he's wrong. These people should be dead. These people are meant to die.
Dark Talon will look forward on this bridge or walkway and see what he can up ahead.
So the walkway itself encircles the inner ring of the spire, off of which there appear to be several series of doors. One directly, like there's a door directly across from you, and there are also two more on either of the sides.
Any distinguishing marks between the doors? A design on them, the shape of the door, the color?
The only one that looks any different is the one directly across from you, which just appears to be an open archway that looks as though from here to lead into just a tubular room.
Which way do you say we go there, party? Do we go for the tiger behind door number 1? Or the lady behind door number 2? Or glory behind door number 3?
As they're saying this, Kronos is somewhat shivering from the water itself, and it's like with precipitation, his flames are going to get hotter to warm himself up. So like, I don't ever like visiting my cousin in water.
Just pick away. Any way will be better than here. The sooner we can get out of here, the better. Once we have the relic, people can die again, and we can get on our way.
What were the 3 rooms again?
There's actually 5 in total. There's only one that you can see into it all. The others appear to be behind closed doors that don't appear to be marked in any specific way. The one directly across from you appears to just be another archway similar to the one that you already walked through that leads into a tubular, in a vertical sense, small tubular room.
Can we talk back to the voice in our head?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I was able to have a small conversation with it.
What is your name?
My name is unimportant. It was forgotten to even myself long ago. It has been some time since I have spoken to anyone. Usually only to those who are about to meet their end.
Theron, getting really sick of this, is just going to go to one of the closed doors and just pull it open.
All right. As you begin to walk up to the door, it literally just from the middle appears as though the sheet of metal that sits in the doorway just splits and opens side to side. As you walk in, you see a roof similar to the one that exists within the spire, although this one appears to have a specific nebula on it, one you don't necessarily recognize the significance of, but whereas the other appears to be a moving, almost sea of stars in a constant shifting state, this is one singular. And in the room, you see a series of white orbs that sit on a shelf that encircles the outer rim of this tubular, similar in shape room.
Going to walk in and just keep looking around.
Dark Talon will ask him, "What do you see?"
This room is strange. I don't understand it. Zeratul.
The understatement of the year, mate. We are in a long-dead empire with voices taunting in our heads.
My master loves it. It's pure chaos.
Zeratul would know what to do.
And as you say that, and you walk by one of these orbs, you notice that it begins to glow softly, and then as you walk past, the glow subsides again.
Do we see these orbs from our perspective outside?
I mean, if you guys are moving to the edge of the doorway, yeah, I mean, they're easily viewable.
Okay. Dark Talon will move on up, not enter, but still keep eye contact with Theron. And how big are these orbs?
The orbs appear to be about, I would say, like yay big, so about 1.5 feet diameter.
Dark Talon will enter on in and see if he'll go over to one of the orbs and see if he can pick it up.
Alright, as soon as your hands make contact with this orb, your vision of the room goes completely black, and you find yourself in an empty space. What was Dark Talon thinking as he was walking up to the orb?
He was still thinking about the pleasure that Darzanan would enjoy in this place of chaos.
All right, and with that, as you do so, you feel a conduit that had felt severed, though you hadn't really noticed. You hadn't noticed it being severed in such a manner, in such a violent manner, as for it to be severed, until it came back to you, almost like a smack in the face. And you find your consciousness standing before Darzanan in the arena of souls. And between your hands is clutched this orb.
Darzanan his body will shudder a bit since this psychic impression of re-entering into the presence of Darzanan and not realizing that he was actually separated. And he'll look with the orb in his hands, and then Darzan says, "Master, I thought this was your making." And it is so wondrous and chaotic that it would be nothing more than pleasure on your side. Uh, do you have any insight, or have you on this wonderfully chaotic place?
I know little of the city beneath the waves. I have heard of Desedra, but it passed long before my making. Unfortunately, I have little to give you in the way of information. However, if it is truly as grand and chaotic as you say, it must surely become my seat of power once our conquest is won.
Darzanan is, well, Dark Talon is say, Darzanan, look through my eyes and you can see the glory of all this in there. And by the way, does this new choker please thee?
He looks down at his ring and kind of thumbs it for a second. It does. I see that I have chosen my disciple well.
And with that, Dark Talon will go ahead and try to release his hands from the orb, and with that, give a humbling and appreciative be successful. And if Dark Talon can release from there and come on back to consciousness or whatever the situation be in that room, he'll say, "Wow, what a rush!"
All right. So as you let go of the, I mean, what do you do to go back to the? Do you just let go of the ball? Do you?
Did I actually lift the ball up from its position, or was it just as soon as I grabbed it that the action of moving me to Darzanon's consciousness take place?
Yeah, as soon as you touched it is when you felt as though you were transported, and you didn't feel the weight of it in your hands, but as you looked down, you were very obviously just holding it.
Oh, okay, with that, then to break the connection, basically, Darzanan will move his hands apart from it and see if that connection is broken or not.
All right. So you pull your hands apart, and your consciousness immediately, like in a split second, just returns, and you see the ball before you in the room with its soft white glow. And as you turn, you see Theron still inspecting the room. Theron, Dark Talon never actually left the room. As from Theron's perception, he would have walked over and put his hands on this, orb, and you would have heard him say everything that he said, but you didn't hear the other end of that.
Alright, Theron is going to grab a dagger and then try to throw it at one of the orbs, if at all possible, the orb that Dark Talon was holding.
Okay. So you chunk a dagger at this orb. Go ahead and give me a roll.
Alright, hopefully I don't get in that one. Nope, lost that die. That will be I've never used a dex attack on him. 17 plus. That would be a 26.
All right. So you throw your dagger, and I mean the what appears to be this obviously after you throw it, crystal, soft white crystal ball just shatters.
Hmm. Shouldn't have done. That's weird. You should not touch those.
Does anything waft up out of the shattered crystal?
No, it just completely shatters. You do notice that there is, however, if you clear away the debris, there is a glyph sitting in the sort of divot that was that the crystal ball was sitting in.
Okay. Dark Talon will pull out a pen and some parchment from his forgery kit and copy the glyph down for future reference. And next to it, he'll assign it, was able to meet with the master.
Awesome.
Um, Rattling will walk into the room, kind of hearing the conversation, and look at one of the orbs and grasp it, thinking of his goddess.
All right. And at that point, the same situation would occur. You find
So-
yourself transported to the Colosseum of Souls, standing before your goddess.
Hail, my lady. We have found the ruins of the city.
I see. And what have you found there?
The city still stands underneath the dragon's teeth, and from what I can gather, is protected by the Aegis.
Protected in what way?
The people who live there appear to still be alive.
And she gets kind of a look of shock on her face.
I am conflicted.
As am I. I must... I must ask you to go and consult with one of the other gods on this matter.
Whom would
You will
that be?
find him lurking in the corners, no doubt wondering what has happened to his chosen, as I was until this moment. His name is Zertul. Unfortunately a vile fiend. You'll understand why I cannot be in his presence. However, he will certainly know if the souls of the city were actually lost.
Very well, my lady. And I will bow to her and walk to the corner of the arena and call out for the god.
And as you walk through this arena, you notice that each step feels somewhat strained as you walk with this strange orb between your hands. You get funny looks from several of the deities there. many of which give you a look of anger, disgust. The goddess is without many allies amongst the other gods as of yet, and many see her as nothing more than a petty threat. However, as you approach the god Zertul, a blackened figure in the corners of the arena, you know what must be done.
I call out to Zerdu. I hail thee, Zerdu, Lord Zeldu. I have a question of you.
So you see Zertul fly out from the shadows. He is a massive black bird, a crow, and you'll see his wings come together. You'll see them spread out, and you'll see a very dark and deathly visage of Theron walk out, and in Theron's voice you'll hear, "What is it?"
The souls of the city, were they ever truly lost?
That I will need Josh to let me know on. Souls, somehow they've escaped. I've had them for thousands of years, but now they're gone. And quite recently. Which is disturbing. Not even the souls of gods can leave my grasp, but yet they are gone.
The artifact we seek
Must be
could be the explanation.
Must be very powerful then.
Well, my lord, as I'm sure you would tell me, time is the companion of death.
Not always.
And so it seems with that shield.
Unfortunately. But heed well, if the shield falls into my hands, time will be death's true companion again.
Well, we shall see if it does, my lord. Though do not expect any help from me in your receiving it.
Very well.
I thank you.
But I want you to do something for me in return.
What would that be?
When you return, put this into Theron's heart. And you see the deathly visage hand out a dagger. Just a plain dagger.
I'll take it.
And as you take the dagger in your hand, we're going to pause there for just a second.
All right.
Kronos, as you walk up and touch the ball, thinking of your home on the plane of fire, you instantly find yourself amongst your people in the city of Brass.
Home.
Holding this strange orb in your hands, walking forward from amidst the crowd, you see the goddess Helena. Why have you summoned me here? Why have you summoned me away from the arena?
He gives a slight bow in a respectful manner and says, I was wanting to seek your guidance on this weird place. It seems that the people out of character. What's the place again?
Desedra.
The people of Desedra are living.
Well, we must find a way to save as many of them as possible. However, anything that separates us from the astral plane, as that place has done to you all, is certainly out of balance with the rest of the world. A
Yes.
balance that must be restored. Unfortunately, balance is more important than the lives of those within. The world will go on, whether their lives continue or not. Save as many as you can. But if a choice must be made, I trust that you will know what that choice will be.
Yes, my goddess. And he says one weird thing is the water, metal, and air all truly combined in this place.
If you can, try to bring back something other than the shield. I will collect it from you at a later date. But if it is truly so, they may have discovered a balance in that city that has long since ceased to be. Unification of the elements is a difficult process.
Especially dealing with the water element.
Yes, I know of your particular displeasure for it. I appreciate that you were willing to deal with it on my account. However, I assume you understand the direness of our situation.
Yes, my goddess. And that he gives a gracious bow as leaving and slowly moves his hands to go back.
Alright, and back to the Colosseum of Souls for another moment.
Alright.
As you stand with the dagger in your hand, just handed to you by Zeratul, one hand to the side of the orb, seeming to effortlessly support it in the air. You see another figure emerge from the shadows.
Who comes?
As the shadows begin to move, if anyone was familiar with the real different religions, they would know that normally when Guider makes his appearances, he's a faceless man surrounded by the spirits of children, but here in the Colosseum, he takes a different appearance, where instead of a shining beacon of light, he is, for some unknown reason, almost like a shadow within a shadow. And there's a hole where his heart is. And when he walks, instead of it being spirit children that follow him, it's almost like cries out of grieving adults. as he approaches Zeratul and the mortal.
So you see the death visage of Theron look to you and say, have you come as well to relish in the re-death of all of those children in that town?
Guider will shudder and be like, "Where is my son?"
Your son. Probably back where my puppet is, and where this one is headed.
Guider will immediately look at Theron. Not Theron,
The mortal.
the mortal. And he'd be like, "Oh, are you the one who travels with my son?"
Yes, Lord Glider.
Guider will put up a hand and say, "No need for lordship. But, do you know where he is?"
Of course. He is accompanying us.
"Could you show me?"
Okay, so out of character question. What if
Yeah.
a god were to touch the orb?
The gods actually, neither of the two gods standing there would perceive the orb. However, there is a way that you can show them. Based on what I've told you so far about the orb, I will leave it at that, though. I guess just think about what got you there in the first place while holding the orb.
Alright. I focus and while I hold the orb, I focus on the son of Glider and the city we are in our group.
All right, and almost as though you are viewing like a copy of a copy, you find yourself standing in the room with the orbs. You see yourself holding the orb, and with you stands Guider and Zeratul.
I point to them and say, "Here it is. The city."
Would... One sec.
You'll see Zeratul looking around, and Theron will say, yes. I can feel the souls. They shall be mine once again.
Much to my dismay, yes, they will.
Guider will see... would he see his son as what the son of Guider perceives, or would it see him as what he actually is?
No, he would see him as what his current state is.
Okay.
So he would see him as a child.
Slow,
As his child.
slowly, he'll go from being the shadowy figure to back towards a being of light and energy, and he'll reach out to try and to touch the image of his son.
And as you do so, your hand waves through it, as though it were an illusion.
I can only show you, my lord.
As his hand passes through, you can see that from his fingertips all the way through the rest of his body, in almost like an instant, it goes right back to the shadow form again. Almost like if there are like ripples that form through him, and he lets out. I'm not gonna be able to do it, but really like the absolute worst grieving moan, like you've probably heard. Almost like 1,000 voices are all grieving at once, and he'll look at the mortal and say, "Return my connection to him, or I will see fit that you never enter this place again."
Sir Glider, I promise you you will have your connection with him once we have left this place. You have my word on it.
And Guider will look from the mortal, the Zeratul, point to him and say, "And you will never have him again."
We will see.
And then Guider will turn and leave.
So I'll focus back on the arena and bring us back there.
You feel yourself recalled as you do.
So Zeratul will take flight and he will actually land in front of you, and you'll see that when you look into his eyes, they do not seem like the beady eyes of a bird. They actually seem like a human's eyes. You'll hear Theron's voice say, "Now don't you forget to stab him. Make sure it is in the heart. It needs to be in the heart."
You want me to stab your servant in the heart?
Of course.
Fair enough, then.
That will be all. Is there anything else I can do to help you?
No, my lord.
All right. Now do as you are told by all the gods. You'll see Zeratul fly off, and the death visage of Theron will be just gone.
And then I'll go back over to the goddess and explain to her that it appears that the Aegis stole the souls back from death.
I don't understand what could have done such a thing. But if their souls have been given back to those people, you must find out if they are truly living. If they are simply undead puppets playing out some sort of show, then destroying them again will relieve them of a fate worse than death. However, if they are truly alive, there must be some way to save them.
I hope so, my lady.
Do what you can. The shield is paramount, but save who you can.
Of course, my lady, and the shield shall be yours. So at that, I'll take my hand off the crystal.
Alright, and you find yourself back in the room once again, holding a dagger in your hand that was not held there moments ago. And here it drips with a strange black ethereal ichor that seems to pour forth from the blade.
And I'll look to Theron.
Theron's still just looking around at the orbs flowing around, not even really paying attention after you shattered the other one.
So I will walk behind him and focus myself and deliver the dagger strike straight through the heart.
All right, and as you do so, you literally watch the color and life force drain away from Theron's body as he begins to become a white, pallid, gray, fleshed person once more. And this black ethereal ichor seems to coalesce out of the wound of the blade and around the handle of the dagger itself. You let go of its grip just before it were to envelop your hand as the dagger slowly transforms with this life force into a crow that lets out a caw and leaps upon Theron's shoulder.
Dark Talon will holler out, "Why did you stab our partner?
And
You're
Theron, you
evil!"
hear, as you hear Dark Talon call out from behind you, feeling the familiar presence and reassuring chill of the grave that your master provides, you suddenly hear the voice in the back of your head once more, except for it's almost as though you're hearing it as an echo this time, realizing that Theron that Zeratul is actually the one who hears it. You don't belong here.
Everyone would hear Theron speak out in almost a unearthly voice. Nor do you or anyone else that is here. You belong all with me.
These people are exactly where they belong. They have been given their home once more, one that was taken from them unrightfully so.
Rightfully or unrightfully, it shall be taken again.
And at that, as you say that, you almost feel like the best way I could describe it is if you were standing at the top of a very small building at the same time that there was a light tremor. You feel like almost a wave come through the building that you feel very, palpably through your feet as you see what appears to have been some object fairly large for how long it lasted move past one of the windows outside of this tower that looks out into the bleak oblivion of the ocean.
So Theron is going to look over towards the window, see if he can't see what it could have been. Possibly see if there's another pass.
As you run to the window and look, you see what appears to be the end of... You're not sure. It could have been a tail, a tentacle. It could have been the end of any number of marine creatures, but one thing that can be for sure is of its enormity.
Can Madeline try to talk to the spirit or whatever is in the back of his head?
Yeah. You can talk to it all you want.
Okay. I call to it and say, these people, are they truly alive?
And I'm gonna pause you there for just a second. Son of Guider, as you skip about the upper ring of this tower, over to the tube-shaped room, through the archway, you notice that it's a glass tube, or at least it appears to be as such. From the inside, you can see out into the deepness of the ocean, and it just appears to be a circular floor. However, the thing that strikes you as odd is there appears to be a gap in between where the floor of this walkway that you're on starts or ends, so to speak, and where the circular floor of the floor inside of this tubular room begins. The gap is only about a half an inch in width.
The Son of Guider will take a step forward onto the walkway and
All right, and
begin to
as
walk
you
forward.
all right, as you do so, you feel almost as if the floor wobbles a bit, and when you reach the center of it, walking towards the outer, glass wall at the other side of this small platform, you begin to descend into a tubular shaft, surrounded by glass on four sides. Or I'm sorry, on three sides. My apologies.
Son of Guider will shout out for help.
All right. So we'll pause there for a second. All right. So, what were you saying to the voice in your head now?
I was asking,
Rattling. Sorry.
are these people alive? Truly, truly alive?
In a manner, yes. They are truly alive. They have sentience. They are not the walking dead as your companion.
In what sense, then? How have these spirits inhabited their bodies again, stolen from Death himself?
The thing that you seek allows for the manipulation of what you consider to be a linear thing. You are creatures who exist linearly, as we once did. And in doing so, rolling back that linear progression allows for certain things to be undone. However, it appears that it only was able to affect the inner workings of the city. This is a design flaw, one that we had not accounted for.
So these people aren't really alive. They are only the embodiments of their former selves.
And at the pause of that question, we will go to Dark Talon,
Okay,
quickly rushing to the sound of Son of Guider's shout. And Dark Talon, as you come to the edge of this spherical room, you see that this platform descending below you, with the Son of Guider standing on it.
And Dark Talon will holler back at the rest of the party that Son of Guider is falling, but yet it seems controlled. We need to assist or fall with him.
Does it look like he's going down towards a level that might be equal to where the people are that we can see?
You definitely saw people moving about on the level below you, and so if that's where he is headed, then yes.
Alright, I'm going to look over as well and just wait and see how far he goes.
Alright.
When Dark Talon gets over there, how far down is he from the lip that Dark Talon is seeing him fall, and how fast is he moving?
He's moving at a, fairly slow pace, to be honest. I mean, not like descending rapidly. I would say that he's currently moving downward at about 5 feet. No, that's not right. That'd be too fast. He's moving down at about a foot a second. We'll go with that.
Okay. All right. Well, Dark Talon will go ahead, seeing him do that as he's made his little speech there. He will leap and try to do a flip and land on his feet next to him on the platform.
Awesome. Give me an acrobatics check. The platform is only about 15 feet below you at this moment.
Well, 17.
Awesome. So you manage to hop down and tumble, and as you come up, you basically have to like steady yourself on the glass and push away very quickly as it's as this disc that Son of Guider and you find yourself now standing on is descending, and the platform stops, and out of the archway you see numerous people. In white clothes, you see families, you see individuals, all with fair skin and white hair. The only differs appear to be in their actual facial features and the colors of their eyes.
Okay.
Dark Talon will say, Son of Guider, we're here to save you. And to the people that are out there, since Dark Talon took on the visage of the ones that he saw from top, he'll say, "Fear not, people. This is my bodyguard."
You say that about the kid?
Say again.
You say that about the kid?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you get a bunch of very sort of strange looks at the sudden exclamation, and you kind of realize that as you exclaimed that, it might have been a bit premature, as no one was really paying that much attention until this moment. And we're going to go back to Rattling, who now, having heard all this commotion, you, having just asked the last question, found yourself compelled to see what the heck was going on, and have seen now the same sort of circular room on the level below where Son of Guider and Dark Talon now stand. You can sort of see them at the angle that you're standing from, and several of the people in the crowd on the tier below you appear to be looking at them and have stopped going about whatever
Have I heard
business.
any of what Dark Talon just said?
Oh yeah, no, you heard that whole thing. I mean, he exclaimed that fairly loudly.
I walked to the edge and I paused for a moment and shake my head and chuckled to myself. And then I jumped down.
All right. Oh, you're just gonna leap down to the next level?
Yep.
Okay. Give me an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics! No, I have a +1 dex modifier, so that's a upside.
I'm going to
That'll be an 8.
I'm going to be jumping down as well, except I have a little bit better of a roll.
Okay.
17 plus. So that would be a 26.
All right. So you manage to leap down, no issue. And as you do so, you make it onto the landing of the floor below, kind of having to like hold onto the railing and blip over to catch it at the right angle to land on the floor below you. Considering the building gets wider as it goes down. But you manage to make it and see Rattlin go falling past you.
Is it big enough for me to
Blub, blub,
put
blub.
my wings out, or?
Yeah, no, I mean the stretch across from one side of the circular walkway to the other, like the central diameter is at least 20 feet on the level that you're on, and it widens further as it goes down. However, you can see about 4 floors below you. There's actually a walkway that goes across the center that he is rapidly approaching.
Wait, curiosity.
Yeah.
How would my wings work underwater?
You're not underwater right now.
Oh! That would
Yeah.
have been nice to know.
Well, that's what I was saying as you walked through. I did originally say as you walked through the like
he did.
shimmering archway.
The air and all that.
It was replaced by air.
I didn't know it extended to that bit. Oh, okay.
I was kind of wondering.
Wings! Wings! Can I summon my wings and beat them, try and catch myself?
Yes, you can summon your wings, and you manage to stabilize yourself, landing on the walkway, several floors below you, and the crowd seems to be gawking in awe, walking, and they're looking at you with a bit of fear at first. But noticing your wings, they slowly begin to like walk over, and you can tell that they have somewhat looks of curiosity upon their faces.
I
So-
look at them and I say, hello? Well met? Kinda hoping they can understand me.
They give you like a curious look for just a second, and you see one of them take off an amulet that they appear to be wearing, and they clasp it around your neck. And you see them kind of like motion at you with their hand at their mouth.
Hello?
The one that handed you their necklace looks at the person next to them. Appears to be a young gentleman with red eyes. Hello. Welcome. You're not from here. How did you arrive?
Well, the wings are very helpful. And I'm also very good at breathing underwater, so I swam and fell and
Wait,
and I explored.
so you come from the outside? How is it that you've managed to survive?
Would there be a reason that I wouldn't have survived?
Is Theron there for this, or this is at a lower level, right?
Yeah, this is going on at a lower level. So we'll pause right there. And Theron, you're on the upper level, across the walkway, if you will, or across the level from the tube that Son of Guider and Dark Talon have just come down, and you find yourself also being looked at with a lot of strange glances by some of the people. However, the majority of them appear to be paying a little more attention to the extremely loud exclamation that came from the tube as one of the women from the crowd walks forward and in the same fashion takes off her amulet and kind of gestures at you, Dark Talon, with it. Noticing that you just exclaimed something very loudly at them, she looks a little timid. You're muted.
Dark Talon will go ahead and take the amulet, but using his awakened mind, he'll say, "Be not afraid. We're here as emissaries and friends." And he'll put the amulet upon himself.
She doesn't. She kind of stirs and, hands you the amulet and backs away as she, feels almost a little intruded upon by the fact that you just spoke to her inside of her mind.
Yeah.
But once you put the amulet on, she looks at you with sort of a very stern and concerned look and kind of motions with, her hand from her mouth.
And Dark Talon will say, "What, you hungry? I have some rations."
A lady that she was with steps forward. "I do not believe she was hungry. I believe she was telling you can speak now.
Okay.
And we
thank
will
you.
understand of you."
And what are your names?
"My name is Zelena. This is Tarza."
Oh, how long you been here, Zelena and Tarza?
"We have always lived in Desedra. It is our home. You look as though you are from here, but you're not."
No, I'm a distant cousin from a faraway land.
"How is it that you have survived?"
By the grace of mighty Darzanan, the Master.
"Darzanan? I have never heard of this Darzanan of whom you speak."
Oh, he is great and wonderful. A little weird, but there again, that's just his way.
"And the child?" And the woman sort of steps forward and kneels down in front of Son of Guider. "Is he yours?"
Oh, no. It's just that he's my protector.
She looks at you very confused. "Your protector is a child?"
Oh, yes. He may be small, but he is mighty.
"Obviously this Darzanan must be great, if he has the power to create protectors of such stature."
Oh, most definitely. You should meet him someday.
Alright, so Theron, this is all going on the, across from you on this same platform, and Kronos flies down at your side.
I'm going to look to him and say, "So what do you think? Do we just slaughter them all?"
Christ!
I just go like this. If there's a way to save them without this artifact, then we must find a way. And I would also sort of pause right there with him, but in back of my mind to the voice that we were hearing, just ask a little question saying, how did you balance water, air, and metal all in one place?
It is a simple task. Once one has learned the techniques, it is an art that I could teach you if you were willing to stay.
I am sorry, but my goddess has mastered those techniques. I am only one of the four elements.
If that is your wish. And you feel like the strange shudder again, and you notice the crowds all kind of, look to the outside and look around for just a moment, but after they dismiss it, and for Son of Guider standing in this tube, sort of, looking around, surveying your surroundings, you see what appears to be a great shadow move beyond one of the other towers of this city outside of the window.
I'm going to walk towards the person, probably 2 feet in front of me, and say, "You, what is on the outside? What haunts the seas outside of your town?"
All right, and we're going to pause there for just a second. We'll go back to Rattlin. Well, the outer world was destroyed. At least, that's what we were told. That's what we were told by the Creator.
The Creator.
Yes, he's, well, only one of. He's not the one who created this city. That was a different creator. I apologize. It must sound very confusing. He is one of those that created this place for us. Brought us here, saved us once before, and has done so again. When the world fell, he shrouded us beneath the sea.
He sounds like a good person.
They are. They simply wish for life to thrive.
As do I.
Have you come here to thrive along with us? I am sure that the Creator would be willing to provide for a few more. We have more than we need.
Should there be any way that I could contact this Creator?
He is always in contact with all of us. You simply need to speak with him, make your wishes known, and he does his best. Unfortunately, he has limits. But he keeps us safe here. We may never be able to return to the world above, but we may continue.
I'm guessing he's the voice in the back of my head.
Oh, yes. You get used to it after some time.
It's quite alright.
We lived with our original creator before the world fell. Our new creator has told us that he perished in the fall. I say
In my
he.
condolences.
It was a great loss. Our new creator seems somewhat more troubled than our original. But he does well.
So it would seem.
And at that point, you notice that the crowd is kind of going back to seeing that you guys are communicating with one another. Other than those who directly heard, that and are still fascinated by the fact that there's a survivor from the outside.
And one that has wings.
Yeah, well, yeah. But you see, some people sort of going back to their business. The thing that predominantly catches your eye is you see a couple walking with what appears to be a newborn.
And at that, I sigh and look to the people I've been talking to, and I bow and bid them farewell. I must stow to my companions. Hopefully we shall meet again. Thank you. Would you like the necklace back?
No, I can get another. You will need to be able to talk with people while you're here, I'm sure, especially if you're going to be staying with us.
Of course. Thank you. And at that, I fly off and I talk to the voice in my head. Is there any way that these people can live without the Aegis?
Alright, and we're going to pause there for a second. And we're going to come back to, I believe we left off with Theron.
Yes.
Alright. And give me your question one more time.
I said, what is that? The thing that haunts the seas around your town? Granted, I do not have a necklace.
Right. Oh, you ask one of the people?
Yes.
Okay. They look at you, obviously not being able to understand, and you see them kneel down, and they take the necklace from around one of their around their child and sort of pat them on the head and gesture towards you with it.
I will grab it and toss it to my compatriots.
Okay. So, Kronos, you have a necklace now.
Actually, I would just not take it, but I would cast comforting languages onto myself to try to understand them better.
Okay. So, you can understand the words that they're saying, but they still won't be able to understand you.
Yeah. So Theron, getting a little bit frustrated that you're casting spells and whatnot, would put it on and look at it, wondering why I have this.
And he'll just look at you and he'll gesture, with his mouth, and he says some words that just sound almost completely alien to you, but Kronos, you understand. He's saying you have to put it on to be able to speak. Well, for me to understand you, and for you to understand me.
Oh, yes, I do put it on.
All right, and we'll pause there for just a second.
Okay.
And all right, so Dark Talon, you feel a tug at your sleeve. Oh no, we won't pause there for a second. Charles is gone. I guess he went AFK for a second. So in that case, you put the necklace on. Goes, yes, that should work better now. What was your question? I'm sorry, I couldn't understand you before.
I said, what haunts the seas outside of your town?
Haunt? He says, like, kind of to himself, do you mean the creator?
Your creator?
If you mean the being outside, that is the creator. He is one of the ones responsible for our city.
Hmm.
No.
Do you talk to this creator?
Well, yes, I mean, he's connected to all of us. Have you not been able to speak with him yet? I can tell that you are new here. I just assumed that he could speak to anyone that was within the city.
Hmm. He tries, but it's a hard time.
I see. Well, he's the creator of our city. He's the one who protects us, provides for us.
Protects you from what?
Oh, from the terrors of the world above, since it fell, of course.
Hmm. Since the world above fell. What do you mean
Yes.
by that?
He gives you kind of a confusing look. I assumed that you would know, being that you must have lived through it. When the world above was destroyed, the creators sank us beneath the waves to save us. We are all that remains, or thought to be all that remains, at least of civilized life in this world.
So, when you fell, were you awake for all this? Did you see it happen?
Well, yes, of course. And with that, we're going to pause. And so, Son of Guider, you're tugging at the woman's sleeve, and she go, "Oh, do you have something to say? Here." And she puts the necklace around your neck, and like calls over one of the other people that you see walking, and a gentleman walks up.
It's this will obviously be in a child's voice, but
That's all right. We can just say that it's in that if you don't want to try to imitate it. It's your call, though.
Some like guider will look up at them and they'll be like, do you know of Guider?
No, I can't say that I've ever heard of Guider. Is he a friend of yours?
He is my father.
Oh, I see. I I don't believe that he's here. At least not that I know of, though the creator might know. You should try to ask him. Can you ask him? Have you heard a voice in the back of your mind?
Mm-hmm. I have.
That's the creator. He's the one responsible for protecting our fair city. He, if anyone would know if your father is here, it would be him. There are many towers much like this throughout the city. He could be in any number of them, but I don't believe he's here.
Does the creator have a tower?
No, the creator doesn't need air like we do. He lives in the waters outside.
Are there people that talk to him?
Well, yes, I mean, we all speak to him. We're
I
all
mean,
connected.
like special people who do.
Well, I mean, there are the elders from each tower that are said to communicate with him directly.
Could we meet one? And as on the guide will begin clapping happily.
He laughs at your excitement. If they're currently not busy, I don't see why not. I was simply on my way home, but if you wish, I could take you to the elders' chambers.
And my friends.
He looks at Dark Talon and just your friend here.
Well, there's supposed to be others around here somewhere.
And about that time, we will bamf back to
Rattling.
you. Yeah, to Rattling. And you hear the voice respond in your head as you are flying up. Currently, without transporting them to the surface, I fear not. And even so, to leave the power of the Aegis would take them out of their current timeline, which very well may cause their deaths yet again. This variable is uncertain, and therefore unacceptable. To remain
Well,
here is the only positive course of action.
Well, Creator, you brought them back from the dead. And they're alive. Sadly, I can't say they're undead. And I can't stand their deaths. But my god requires the Aegis.
To say that I brought them back to life is too simple. I have simply regressed time within the city so that they never died.
Arose by any other name, dear Creator. So, if they were brought to the surface, you're unsure of whether they would live or not. Could we test your theory?
You hear a long pause. This theory could be tested, but one would have to find a willing subject. I will not force anyone in this city to leave, not of their own free will.
Well, my dear Creator, you can talk to everyone here. See who would be willing to see the surface again.
To do so could cripple their very existence. These people believe that they are some of the only survivors in the world, and certainly the only survivors of any civility. You must talk with the elder of this tower. If you can convince him to try, then we will test your theory. He is currently the only one who knows of the outer world's true state within this tower.
Fair enough. So at that, I'll fly up to where Dark Talon and the son of Glider are currently.
Alright. And we'll skip back to Theron real quick. I believe you had just had your last question answered.
Yes. I'm going to think to myself and to Zeratul to relay over to their creator. So, is it you that wields the Aegis?
And again, almost like an echo being heard through another mind. Yes, the Aegis was part of the city. The Aegis was always part of the city. It was simply unknown that it could be utilized in this way. With the former creator's demise, it was left to me upon my arrival to activate it.
So, where is it now?
It is at the heart of the city.
Of which tower?
I am afraid that that is information that I am unwilling to share, giving your current mental state, or should I say, his current mental state. One of your companions has a theory. You should speak with him, the winged one.
Oh, and what will become of his theory? What does he want?
And with that, you see Rattlin land on to the platform of the level that you're on.
And the guy will see Theron turn to the crow on his shoulder, and he'll say, "Does he want them to survive?" Shit. I'm going to look at the person that I've been talking to and say, "Where's the heart of your city? Not of the tower, of the entire city."
The heart of the city? Well, I mean that it's in what's left of the central tower. Most of the central tower was destroyed. It's why the master the creator operates everything in the city now. It's hard to be accessed. It's unfortunately one of the portions of the city that was flooded. Several towers had to be abandoned when the city was sunk after the fall.
I see. So, can you take me and those people across the way to where we can get to the central tower?
You wish to go to the heart of the city? But, I mean, it's suicide out there. You'll never make the swim.
Well, I got here, didn't I?
And upon that answer, well, yeah, I suppose you're correct. The central tower is 2 towers over. It means that we're going to have to cross over to the next tower. And from there, you can make the swim, hopefully. It really doesn't sound like a good idea, though.
Why? What's wrong with the swim? Would it be any worse than swimming down to your city?
The master operates the central tower. The creator is, well, how to explain it? He doesn't look like us exactly. He's, well, I mean, you'll see, I guess, when we get to the other tower. He's probably there now, but I worry that he won't be able to notice you so close to him. He's very large.
Well, maybe we don't need to see your creator. Maybe he's a little bit too preoccupied with everyone here. But come on, let's get to the others.
All right. And at that point, you guys all rally up with the gentleman who is willing to take you to the elder, or the gentleman who is willing to take you to the next tower.
Look, I know that most of you want to possibly save the city, but the mission is to get the Aegis.
The Aegis is paramount. But the lives of these people are not a cost I am willing to pay for the Aegis without trying to save them first.
Fine. How about you try to save them while the rest of us try to get the Aegis? Don't you just need to convince some old man to try to survive out of his home? The rest of us can work on achieving our God's goals.
If we can do both without sacrificing getting the artifact, it is much better to achieve both goals.
Don't you see? These people are supposed to be dead.
And yet they're not.
Because of a perversion of a magic that is out of all of our comprehensions.
Including your God's comprehension, I may add.
Aye.
And with that, when you say that, Rattlin, a thought clicks into your mind. With the timeline that Zeratul presented, and the apparent age of that child was born since these people came back.
Disgusting.
Well, you
Yeah, I know.
haven't. Which means that life is new.
I agree.
So, who will be coming with me to get the Aegis?
First, let's start with talking to the old man.
We don't all need to go to the old man.
He could be of help in getting the Aegis as well.
We don't need the old man to get to the Aegis. We just need to swim across. And this one here, I'm going to put my hand on the one that I was originally talking to, and going to shake him kind of friendly, like, this one can get us to the heart of the city.
I don't know about all that. I mean, I'll take you as far as the next tower. I'll show you where to go from there. But I mean, I'm not making that swim.
Well, you can get us as far as you can. We don't all need to convince some old man to possibly give up his life.
But you do need to convince the Creator to let you take the Aegis.
That's what all of us are here for, right?
True. And if the old man survives without the Aegis, without its influence, then we can all come back and get the Aegis.
There is a order. People are born. They live. their life sucks, and then they die. That is how mortality works.
Well, as your God put it to me himself, time is not always death's companion.
Yes. Guess it's not in this case. But shouldn't we make them friends once more?
That sounds like your prerogative. All I care for is claiming the Aegis and saving these people.
And at that, when you say that, Dark Talon, for those of you not monitoring chat, Dark Talon just let them choose what we must choose, or as we must choose. When you say that, both gentlemen kind of look at you a little confused. Choose what?
Dark Talon will say, choose the direction for their choices of life. Like any free spirit that's not owned or slaved, they must choose their own path.
We are all free to choose. We are allowed to live whatever life we see fit.
But so then you can choose to live above on the ground. That's above in the lands that are provided by Darzanan and his great chaotic creativity.
Well, yes, I suppose we could choose to live in the fallen world above, but why? Why would we ever? Everything we want is provided for us here. We are allowed to live free of war, free of hunger. Sure, it means that we are stuck within the confines of the city, but we are allowed to freely migrate from tower to tower as we see fit.
As any pet would be able to roam a limited amount within the confines of its master.
The Creator has never banished us from leaving. No one has ever chosen to do so.
May I pose a question?
Of course. All right. Is this you to me or you to the character?
No, from him to
Okay,
from
cool.
me.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's good.
Of course.
What would happen if you all ran out of room?
And
What would you do then?
At that, he goes, I don't believe that will be an issue. The Creator has already begun to see to that, and as he takes you over to one of the windows along the outside, you see this, unfinished, but what looks to have been a once broken tower that is in the process of being reconstructed.
Ah. The Creator is smart, I'll give him that. Okay.
So, the choice is simple. Would you like to try to live in the above world or stay as you are here?
Well, of course I would rather stay here. Why would we wish to leave?
There you have it. They would like to stay here.
You're being disingenuous. Can you not tell them of what that choice means.
Fine. Your creator makes it so people don't die here. But if you choose to stay here, then you shall no longer be immortal.
What do you mean? We're not immortal. Come with me. And he literally takes you over to another one of these strange, like, tubular rooms that is on the opposite side from the one that that Son of Guider and Dark Talon came down, and as you all step onto the platform, it descends, and he takes you down a few more levels before walking you into what, those of you who are familiar with what a battlefield hospital would look like, this would be the closest thing that you would have seen to it. However, you notice that all of the people have different strange either orbs or crystals near their beds that appear to glow with strange auras, but you see the sick, and you see, people who are in their late stages of life, basically the equivalent of what would be like hospice care. These people will soon pass. We're not immortal here.
So, where are your dead?
Well, they're given back to the sea.
See, death is still in work here. But that bears the question. Why couldn't your god feel their spirits if they died?
I do not know. Should we watch one die and find out?
No.
He must not be as great as he thinks he is if he cannot reach this far and this deep. But there again, these people, let them choose what they may, and let us choose the path that we'll lead, and let the gods sift through the bodies and the choices.
At that, I nod and say, well, either way, if you're wanting to get this Aegis, we have to at least make the Creator believe that he doesn't need it.
So, shall we lie
See
to
the
him?
old man. See the old man. Come and see if he survives.
And if he doesn't, then do you think this creator will let us go get this Aegis?
I doubt he will let you do anything even remotely close to that. But then again, his motives are different and harder to comprehend. I was told of your idea by the Creator. I thought it was best to come see you here, as it seems as though you were taking a bit more time than I expected to arrive at my chambers.
Sorry, we had a friendly debate to attend to.
I understand the matter at hand. I would expect a debate to ensue. It is one of the wonderful things of our creators. They are able to see much farther than we are. And therefore, choices such as these are much easier.
I suppose you are right. So then, would you or anyone be willing to test my idea?
Are you willing to give your life, old man?
I am faced with a terrible conundrum. You see, I worry not for my own death. I am not terribly long for this world, unfortunately. But finding out what these people have actually been through could be earth-shattering for some of them. I worry that it may be a fate worse than death. Come with me this way. We must speak in private.
I suppose so. Come along.
I will head along with.
And he takes you down to what you're assuming must be the lowest levels of this tower. And once you finally reach his office, you see him walk over to a crystal on his desk. And as he touches it, you notice a disc in the floor sort of separate from the floor itself as you notice a gap form around it. The way that those that in the tubes that you came down earlier did. And he motions for you all to step onto the platform, and as you do, and as does he, it descends into a spherical room of glass, surrounded on all sides by water. And you can see, dimly illuminated, but illuminated, the ocean floor, the life beneath, great expanses of kelp, and the different sea life that live amongst it. And as you do so, you see what appears to be almost like a great blade that extends down from underneath the city itself and sweeps across a portion of it. As it does, gathering up all of the kelp and sea life in its tide, and then retracts back up into the city. This is one of the few places where we are allowed to truly be alone, without the Creator inside of our minds. Only the elders are given this permission. I am sure you can feel his presence has receded.
Yes.
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 The issue at hand is, as I had said before, learning that everyone in this city has already died once and has been living a lie ever since could be earth-shattering. It very well may be a fate worse than death for some. However, it does allow those the chance to thrive that wish to. I am willing to go on with your experiment. However, I can see a sort of unfortunate kindness in allowing them to pass quickly back into the night from whence we all were brought back. I will leave this choice with you all. You have seen the outside world, and you have seen our world here. If you believe that rejoining it is in my people's best interest, then I will attempt your journey. If you do not, then I will help you retrieve the Aegis.
You're...
You have to understand, our world is not a peaceful and safe one. You come to our world, well...
I am aware of this. I had the fortunate or the fortune, I should say, of interacting with, well, I suppose it was your world from long ago, trading with some of the various cultures. We heard of their battles and their wars. Desedra has always stayed out of such matters. However, our people are now faced with a choice. We've been given a second lease on life.
You have to understand, though, this isn't old times where people fight and kill each other. No. Now gods themselves fight and kill each other. The world is worse than it has ever been. If you want proof, well, just know that Zeratul consumes more and more souls by the day.
Yes, I am familiar with your god. The elders have been given our memories from our stint in the astral plane back by the Creator. While he is cold and power-hungry, he does treat those that he holds with some dignity. He does not allow us to become the puppets, unliving as so many other gods of death and destruction have. At least if we die, it will be a graceful death.
That it will.
But what of you? I hear that you, Radlin, are the one who most readily makes a case for our survival.
You people are alive. You may have been brought back from the abyss, but you have thrived. New life has been born. I've seen it with my own eyes. I have no hunger for your death. And I seek to try and save you, but at the same time, the gods will have their Aegis, whether I assist in it or not.
That they will.
I have a feeling that even if your creator killed all of us, the gods would just send more. And I have a feeling they would be far from diplomatic. And I have no want for that for your people. So I want to try and find a compromise.
And you believe that us rejoining the world above is a better fate than returning to the blackness from whence we came.
It's true. The world above may grow worse. And it's true. His Lord devours more and more souls every day. But there is beauty in life. There's honor and valor, chivalry, joy, love. There's sorrow, and there's war. I've fought in war. I've watched my own father die. And my own mother died before conceiving me into this world. Yet I would like to believe that her death was a moment of joy. I think that if you were given a second chance, I would not want you to not have that same chance of life.
You make a strong case. You,
Yes.
bearer of chaos, the Creator tells me of your god Darzanan. I have a feeling, based on his story, I know your response. What would you have us do? Slip back into the darkness, or rejoin the world above?
Ah, my call would be to make your own choice. Let yourself feel the total pleasure of life, from the sorrows, the pains, the joys, the creativity, the dullness, so you can flavor, sense the flavor, and inhibit life as a true life instead of a simulated, controlled automaton sort of livelihood of dullness and lack of free will in totality. Through chaos, the creativity and the joy is so vibrant. The colors explode in one's imagination and mind.
You make a strong case for survival, my friend. And you, fiery one, your trip here must have been one of the most arduous. To have come so far, for a goddess who demands balance, does not our continued existence upset that balance?
No. As I see you all walk around living new life come into play. If it is to be that y'all's lives is to come to an end, that would be most unsettling. But it's not right now. As you saw, many places been constructed so y'all can continue. And just as my companions has said, outside is more like the waves of the water. They sometimes come in huge and overpowering, but other times they come in with the soft and gentle caress of the water. It is all in the balance of things.
I thank you for your words. And you, one whose stature does not belie his actual wisdom, son of Gyder, what do you say?
Gyder will, son of Gyder will put his fingers together, even though they're little child hands, contemplating what he's going to say, and he'll hold up two fingers like, I have two things I have to say. Number one, before I go to number two, can you turn me back to the way I was?
Unfortunately, I do not have that power. I believe that it must be a side effect of the Aegis.
So, my second thing, if the Aegis stopped being magic, would all this go away?
What do you mean?
Like, if I was able to make it not magic for a little while, would everything around us go away?
My assumption is that it would have much the same effect as removing the Aegis from our city's core.
Old man, I have a idea that might satisfy you. There is new life here. Life that wasn't originally claimed by all. What if I offered, for when you all perish, they can have their lives? For Zeratul just wants what was already his. And I personally will make sure that they will survive and thrive in this new world under Death's protection.
Leaving the protection of one for the protection of another. An interesting twist. And yes, there is new life. How would we get it out? I don't know that both are possible. We must first test your friend's theory to see if it would even be possible to take that new life from without the city walls. Which means the sacrifice of my life. And I don't know that I would be able to help you retrieve those new lives should that plan fail.
Well, I think your soul may be linked to this place, to the Aegis. But their souls, well, they come of new. I don't know if they really would be as linked as you are to this Aegis.
You make a good point. What say you all?
Darzanon says what he typed over there. Control of one for control of another. Where's the flavor of freedom and life in that?
They would be free if they came with me.
Free to your will. They need to choose for themselves. They're free spirits, free choices. Let chaos reign.
Well, newborns can't really choose for themselves. I'm not saying we take all of the children, just the ones that have been born anew, the ones that did not perish originally. For they have not lived yet. And yes, their souls would be just as fulfilling, but in your eyes, I see that they do not deserve the death of the rest of them.
But can we see this Aegis just to peer upon its glory and its power outside of just its effects?
I am afraid that making that swim is a perilous one. And one that the elders have only been able to do with assistance. I could help you make this swim, but if that is the choice that we make, then that means we must continue on with one of your plans. It seems as though the majority of you favor me attempting to leave this city to see if the Aegis' effects extend beyond its reach.
Here again, if we are able to see this artifact, may actually be able to help us and help you make your choice.
I would favor this newborn life have its parents, but I would certainly not favor their death altogether. However, if you die, could any of the other elders help us retrieve the children?
I could put you in touch with Elder Laren. He is the elder of the tower closest to the Aegis. He too would be able to aid you in attempting to retrieve it at such time. He has always been a dear friend of mine. I believe that if I tell him of your plan, then he will support it. We are fairly like-minded individuals.
And let us go speak with, or let us stay in touch with him. Then we shall test if all of you can live, and if not, then we will make sure that your children live on.
I appreciate your valor in this manner. And with that, it seems as though I must speak with our Creator. All right, so we will take a super quick break. There really is not going to be too terribly much game left. Nest quick break, awesome. But yeah, no, bio break, drink break, do whatever you need to. I would guess at the very most we've got maybe an hour left and probably less. So
All right.
we'll be back shortly, and I'll see you guys in just a minute.
All right.
All right, awesome.
Boom. Now I'm back from outer space.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, for those who watch or who play Pathfinder, um, they're doing a playtest for the Vigilante character type, and so they now released the sidekick.
The sidekick?
Yeah. So, like, if Batman has Robin, the Vigilante needs
God.
a sidekick.
Is the sidekick a class, or is that just a class feature?
Nope, that is an archetype. That is an archetype. So, like, you have your class, and then you have an archetype.
So, but it, like, yeah, no, I mean, I know what the archetype is. So, what do you can apply it to like any class, or?
I think you have to meet certain prerequisites, but yeah.
Okay, weird. That's
that's
silly. Oh, Pathfinder.
It is stupid silly, but it's great. I love it.
God.
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's hilarious because that's exactly what I thought as soon as I saw that. I was like, oh, you can play Batman now in Pathfinder. That's
It's especially silly if it's legal in like Pathfinder Society.
No, it's a playtest.
Yeah, but eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
It won't be.
Oh,
Mainly because it was Dawn Forge.
Dawnforge cast.
Yeah, with going over it. It's all about the reputation and the contacts you have in one place. And it does it around like a secret identity. But with the Pathfinder Society, you go into different cities every module.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could probably play one, it just won't be a good idea. However,
No.
in any case.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's cool. No worries. Luke, to answer your question, yes. If you're getting at what I think you're getting at, then yes. All right, but in any case, so at that point, the elder ascends the platform back into his office, and you see it sort of reseal into the floor, and you feel the creator's presence re-entering your mind. And you see the elder sort of stand there for a moment in silence before he says, "Well, it appears that I am off to test your theory. Would you like to come watch?"
Of course, I will be accompanying you after all.
Me too.
I wouldn't mind watching what happens.
Very well. So with that, he makes his way through some tunnels. You can see down on this lower portion of the city that apparently the towers appear to be connected by more than just the outside bridges that you saw before that lay beneath the waves. And you find yourself in a new tower. And he introduces you to, this is Elder Maestro, who I spoke of before. He will be helping the rest of you from here on out, as it appears that Radlin and I will quickly be heading towards the surface. It is a pleasure to meet you all. I wish that it were under different circumstances. However, I understand the decision that lays before us. May your journey go well. And with that, Elder Lauren sort of gestures for you to follow Radlin. And Elder Maestro takes you all to a great window, almost like a viewing observation deck, if you will, that's a few floors above. And Radlin, as you and he go through another series of tunnels, you enter a tubular chamber just off of one of these tunnels. And inside, it appears to be a small room that has just a number of chairs lining the outside of it. And he gestures for you to sit.
I sit down.
And as you do, a band of energy sort of encompasses your legs and your lower abdomen. And he sits and does the same. And as the door closes, you feel almost like a weightlessness sort of take the room, as you can feel it sort of rocking a little bit back and forth. And those of you in the viewing chamber see this sphere just begin to float to the surface from a lower portion of the city. Up and up and up until the small amount of light shed by the city no longer allows you to see the sphere. You feel the presence of the Creator receding as you further up and up, back just at the edges of your mind as it was when you were near the surface of the water. And as you hear a sudden splash and a jostle, you can tell that the sphere has reached the surface. And across from you still sits Elder Lauren.
Do you feel any different?
No, other than perhaps a little seasick. As you can...
Fair enough. So, it would seem that you all can live without the Aegis, then?
It would appear as such. Now the unfortunate business of explaining to the people the situation.
We will be happy.
I don't suppose you have a plan for retrieving us.
In all honesty, I wasn't expecting a glass bubble. Can this thing move in any way?
I am not sure. And with that, you see, like, out of the center of the room, a column sort of rises, and atop which sits a glowing orb. This one in, like, sort of an orangish hue as opposed to the white of those that you saw before.
I reach out and touch it.
All right. As you do so, like you feel the orb sort of stabilize in the water, and you can tell that it's still drifting some, but it's not violently rocking the way that it was before with the waves.
I focus my mind back to where we were.
All right. And as you begin to descend, we're going to pause there.
All right.
The Creator says that he can no longer feel Elder Lauren. I fear that your plan may have failed.
may have.
Dark Talon will say, no, our plan has succeeded because he's been able to make his own choice for his own life and his direction, whether positive, negative.
This is true. He has done so indeed.
So now it is your choice. Do you aid us knowing that death will come?
I asked a question. How fast am I descending?
You're descending at a significantly more controlled rate. I would say about as fast as you would be able to swim down.
Okay, so what would my swim speed be?
15, I think.
Yeah, it'd be half your movement unless you actually
Well,
have a swim speed. We're gonna assume
I
that this
have-
thing can defend 30 feet. Descend 30 feet per round, effectively.
Okay.
So I mean, it's descending somewhat slowly.
Can they see it at all?
Not yet.
And
Can y'all not jump to conclusions?
I just when saying that he felt a loss, and I say, if you have not learned anything from the water, the tides always recede when the strongest sense and strongest tide comes in.
I am afraid I don't understand your meaning, my friend. Are you saying that
It is to mean is not always to jump to conclusions right after they leave.
I have not jumped to this conclusion? I have simply told you what the Creator has conferred to me. And that is that he can no longer sense the Elder.
So tell me, how does your creator supply for you? How do you eat in underground caverns? Well, underground cities.
We have, or the Creator has established a way to cultivate sea life from the floor of the ocean beneath the city.
I see. And say your town rises so that you're out of the range of your creator. How will he supply you then? Are you going to just starve up there?
I suppose if the city were to rise above the waves again, then we would have gardens, we would have fields and crops along the top of our city, the way that it was in ages past.
I see. Well, I guess we can just wait and see if they return.
Alright, and about that time you do actually see the spherical chamber descending.
Would you look at
I
that?
wave. Hi. I point to him. He's alive. I checked his pulse.
Dark Talon says, the bubble, boss, the bubble.
The Creator confirms that he can feel the Elder once more. It appears that your theory has been correct. You have saved the lives of men this day.
Zoidberg is correct!
And
Sorry, I'm being stupid. Anyhow.
You all hear in the backs of your minds, I
Yes.
will allow the people enough time to make their choice and leave the city if they so wish. Those that stay will know the fate that they will receive, should they do so. The Aegis is yours after that time.
And Kronos would just graciously thank him in the back of his mind. So.
Alright, and a few days pass in total for people to decide, say their goodbyes. Some people stay behind to look after those who aren't strong enough to make the trip, and but the majority decide to make their way back to the surface, and you just see a mass exodus as these spheres begin rising from the city, carrying hundreds of lives along with them to make their way in the world anew. After which you were brought the Aegis by the Creator and taken back to the surface.
Damn.
And that's tonight's episode.
Yeah!
Sweet.
Apparently my science is awesome. Last show, I guessed accurately how fast somebody would fall.
That's hilarious.
This time I guessed correctly that these people would live. I am Einstein of the D&D world.
That's hilarious. So I hope you guys are all okay with the non-combat session. I mean, there was a way that combat could have gone down, but I had actually kind of intended for this one to be a pretty much like RP-only session. I hope you guys are all right with that.
That's fine.
I had a lot of fun with it. I hope you guys had fun with it.
Oh yeah, chaos rules.
I hope our 3 viewers had fun with it. As I can see, we have 3 viewers. We had like 5 at one point. I was surprised. I think that was like a record high thus far. Luke says meh. I'm sorry. You will get to show off your combat Bernie glory. Yeah, I felt bad actually when you signed up for this one, so I was like, oh, Luke's gonna be sad because this one's primarily gonna be non-combat. But yeah.
But on the plus side, your dad said hi.
Yeah, there you go. You got a message. You got a message from Father. That's
I wanted to hug him because I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Is he still like a child?
Oh no.
Once we don topside, he's fine.
Yeah, you go back. Everyone goes back to their natural form. Well, I mean, Theron already figured out a way around that. And even if you were stuck in the child body, it wasn't actually going to affect any of your statistical stuff had a fight gone down. Luke, don't worry. I wasn't gonna nerf you like that. That would have been shitty.
I'm picturing this. Actually, I'm just picturing this tiny little warforged. Luke is a fighter?
No, I think he's a fire cleric that just took some...
Oh my god, that would be perfect. I'm just picturing this tiny little warforged running around with a mace, throwing fireballs.
My bodyguard.
Fools.
Yeah.
But with that, I am going to stop the broadcast, so thank you again, everybody, for watching. Check out the Tabletop RPG One-Shot group. Check out the Unnamed Adventurers Guild. Check out Amendius Geek. Is there anybody else that I'm forgetting? Have you started your channel yet, Spencer?
Half of my channel has left the date for a week.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, so I think we're putting all of our videos on Thursday.
Awesome. Well, Dice of the Round Table. So check that out. He'll have videos up soon. and I will go back and I will put links to all of those things in the description. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a good night.